Alright, thanks for checking out the video and welcome. Today we're going to talk about how to easily create multiple lower third effects for your online videos. Lower third is what you'll see on newscasts quite often, where a little bar pops out from the bottom and tells who's speaking, or breaking news, or the weather, or whatnot. You can also use them in your sales videos to let your viewer know that you have a free trial. You can ask them to follow you on your social networks, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, etc. And after this video, you're going to be able to design a professional lower third for your video using only Photoshop or my preferred method, the free website Pixlr.com. You'll be able to insert the design into your video using Camtasia. I'll also show you how to fine-tune your creation with multiple entry and exit effects. And as a bonus, you can download my pre-made social templates for free. Enjoy the video. Alright, here we are over at Pixlr.com, Pixlr.com. This is a free graphics editing software that you can use online, so it's accessible to everyone, and it's free, which is awesome. Before we dive into the program, what we want to do is we want to decide what type of lower third we're going to create. We can remind people that there's a free trial that they can click, use the software, do exactly like you're doing on the video, follow right over your shoulder. There's quick tip icons where if you don't want to say something verbally, but it's important, or you want to add it later, you can add a little tip that pops up. You can ask people to follow you on your social networks, Facebook, Google+. And here's some examples. I just jumped over to Google. Here's a Google+ icons that you can get. Quick tips icon. This could be one you'd like to use. You could just use a light bulb, tips and tricks, etc. And then the free trials. Also, if you're going to be making if you're going to have a few lower thirds appear in your video, there we are. You might want to get a social icon set. What that'll do is it'll keep continuity with all the images that are displayed on your lower thirds in your videos. Again, there's a ton available. Most of them are free to download and use. You just have to do a little searching. For the purpose of this video, we're going to make a free trial lower third, and you can see there's tons to choose from. This would be a good one. Some of these might need a little tweaking. That would be a good one. I found one down here that I really liked that I think I will use for this video, and that's right here. If you click on it, it'll bring it up down here. You'll notice that it already has a transparent background. So that's a good start. It doesn't really matter depending on how complicated the image is, but if you could find one that has a transparent background, that's helpful. You just want to view the image, right click it, save image as, and then save it in your graphics folder, wherever you want to put it on your computer. Exit out of that. And the reason I bring this up first is this will give me a color palette to work with when we're making the actual bar where you're going to put your text and whatnot. So back to Pixlr. You're going to want to select the Pixlr editor, and that'll bring us up over here where it's asking you if you want to create a new image. It'll let you set the dimensions for that image, open an image from the computer, which is what we're going to do. Now I'm going to open up two images. Do that one there, and we'll open up one more. We'll open up our actual free trial one that we downloaded. There it is. Alright, and the reason I brought up this one is this might be a graphic that I'd like to use, but the problem is it's got a white background, and we need to eliminate that. It's very simple in Pixlr. We simply want to come over here to our Layers tab. We want to create a new layer. It's going to create a new transparent layer, and then we want to double click on this little padlock on the graphic icon, and then it's as simple as coming over to the magic wand tool, clicking this white. You'll see it's all highlighted. Simply hit backspace, and we have a transparent background. That can get a little trickier the more complex the image, if it has lots of faded colors or abrupt edges and whatnot. Again, for this, if I was going to use this, I would probably want to X out the center, keep the stars, but get rid of that white. And there we go. Then we just Save that, and we have our image with a transparent background. We're not going to use that one today. We're going to use this one. We don't want to save that. And we're just going to kind of keep this off to the side for a minute. We're going to open, or we're going to do a new image. We're going to set the dimensions. I always like to do the 1920 by 1080, and it's important that we have that keep a transparent background. There we are. Now we just go over to our shapes tool. We're going to draw a simple rectangle. And you don't want to make it too wide or too long. Something right in there, something where you can fit some text. It's going to give us a black bar. Now highlight that. Highlight our colors. It's going to bring up this color picker box. Let me rearrange these real quick. There we go. Now when we pick our color, it's going to allow us to select from all these different colors. If you go off that little box, it gives you the eyedropper tool. And I usually come over, the reason I brought up my icon in the beginning was because I want to steal some colors from it. There we go. That looks good. And we'll come over here on our paint bucket tool, and we're going to paint that blue. So now that has one of the same colors as our icon, so it'll go well together. Next thing we're going to do, grab our selector, and we're going to highlight that entire thing. Perfect. Then click on our gradients. We want our gradients to go light to dark. Well, I already had that set, but for this purpose, click that one, and we want to steal our color. Come back down here, select our blue, hit OK. Then you just want to click off that somewhere. Come down, line your crosshairs up with the bottom of your rectangle, hold the left mouse button and drag it up. Get that line as straight as possible, and when you release, it's going to start with the blue and fade to white. The lower after the box that you click, or that you release that mouse button, the wider it's going to be. So if I drag it way up here, it's going to go a lot bluer. Down here, white. And then the more you're off to the left or right, it's going to slant that gradient that way as well. So let's go up here, find a happy medium. Boom, I like it. Okay. Now here, since this is going to, we don't want this to be dominant on the page, we want it to accent the page. You can come over here, hit this layer box, and you can change the opacity down, and I like to go about 85. That'll let some of your video shine through the background, and it will complement your video instead of kind of dominate the look. Alright. Next thing we want to do is crop this bad boy out. Highlight, click off the screen. It's going to ask me if I'd like to apply. I say yes. Alright, so now we have our icon, we have our lower third, or we have our icon, we have our rectangle, and we're going to combine these together. We're going to open up a new image with the same dimensions as last time, the 1920 by 1080, transparent background, then hit OK. Over here, my select tool, I want to highlight all of that, go up to Edit, Copy, click back over to our brand new canvas here. I'm going to paste that, boom, there we have it. And then we just have to find, there it is. We're going to do the same thing for this. Edit, copy, edit, paste. And there are some shortcuts you can do to make that a little quicker. Then we hit our move tool. Bring this down here a little bit. Designate that. Then we want to hit free transform. You'll see these little square boxes pop up around the you can now change the size. So you want it to be proportional, and but still legible. And oh, there we go. Now for some reason when I click off the free transform, it sends the image way up there, and I don't understand why it's doing it. So I just drag it down here before I click it off. I do want to apply the changes, and see how it bumped it up there? If it sends it off the screen, it ends up cutting it off. I'm not exactly sure why it does that, but then you can move this over here, set it, where you like it, and boom, we have what's starting to look like a pretty cool lower third. Advertising our free trial of our software to where they can click, it puts our cookie on there, and then if they decide to buy it, we get paid for it. So it's just another revenue of another avenue, of getting people to your link. You can then go ahead and add some text if you'd like. We'll make our text white. Oh, what happened here? There we go. Try that again. Follow over my shoulder, you can move that. You can change the fonts, up the size. Likes to keep me in that blue. Oops. Alright. Try that again. I guess I forgot to click in the text box. Boom. And there we have it. And you can doctor this up. You can for instance, you can add drop shadows and whatnot to the text, so it makes it stand out a little and look a little bit more natural. And that'll just be a matter of playing around with it. But for right now, we have a lower third that we can enter into Camtasia that will remind people that they have the option to use the software that you're using so well for free. And hopefully they click on it. The last thing we're going to do is crop this out. Click outside the box. Yes, we do want to. And last but not least, we're going to save it. It's important here, we'll call this the demo third, that you save it in PNG, transparent, full quality. You see the background there. Save that. And then we're good to go. We're ready to insert this into Camtasia. So let me switch over to that software and we'll see in a minute. Alright, so I've loaded up Camtasia. And the first thing I did was I loaded in the video that I'm planning to use my lower third with. The next thing I'm going to do is import my actual lower third. And I have that somewhere here. There we go. I believe I named that demo. Third ping. Open that. Pop that up. Next, we want to grab our video and drag it onto our first track here. Go to YouTube for the size. Okay. And it starts off a little bit. I like to slide it down. And it's just a short video of me playing with the best spinner, just clicking some buttons for the sake of this tutorial. The next thing we want to do is add another track and drag down our lower third. And then we can stretch this out for as long as we want it to appear. And if you click on that one and bring this over to here, you're going to see the lower third pop up. But it's also going to have, just like when we did the free transform in Pixlr, we're going to be able to resize this and move it all over the place where we want it. So I like to bring it down, take it a little off the edge, bring it down to the bottom left, resize it a little bit, and we're good to go. So now when we hit play, it's going to have me, and then it's going to pop up, fall over my shoulder. Click on the link below for your free trial. It'll stay as long as we've told it to stay here on track 2. And then as soon as it hits the end, I might have made that a little bit too long, I apologize, it's going to exit. Now that's a little choppy and not very professional. So the nice thing about Camtasia is we can go to transitions. Now some of these are a little hokey. They look like something straight out of a PowerPoint presentation, but some of them are quite useful. I like to do slide right. If you click, hold the left button, drag it down, you'll see that those are highlighted, and drag it right there. And then we can do slide left. Again, hold it, drag it down here. And then what that will do is when these start, it's going to pop in from the right, and then as it exits, it'll pop off to the left. So simple. And there's a ton of these that you can play with. You don't have to use the same one on both ends. You can have it pop into the right and then kind of dissipate on the end. That's really up to you, and this video isn't about customizing them, it's just about getting them on the screen. So let's see how that looked, because it can look a little jerky in the window here, but let's see how that looks once we finalize it. Go up to produce and share. Actually, I'm going to shorten this a little bit. There we go. And I'll go ahead and take care of that on my end, and we should flip over and see how it appears when we watch it. Alright, so here we are in our output video, and this is just a video of me playing around in the best spinner. And so you'll see here's our lower third pop up here from the lower left, and it'll just hang out while we continue to demonstrate our program and show people exactly what we're doing, and remind them that they can get a free trial of what we're doing and do it while we're doing it. So, alright, that's the video. There goes our lower third off to the lower left. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Thanks.